Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your second analysis of the day. And I'm concerned about Raila Amolo Odinga. Of course, the verdict is coming tomorrow regarding what needs to be done going forward. So the Supreme Court can decide to nullify, can decide to uphold William Ruto's elections. Whichever the case, Kenya must continue and we must still continue to coexist. But while we are still focusing on that, we should also focus on Raila Amolo Odinga, because we think there is a problem at the top Secretariat. Why did Raila Amolo Odinga have to suffer? Okay, the process of IEBC seems to be flawed, but what happened at the top Secretariat? Many people have been blaming Junet Mohammed. That Junet Mohammed could have been one of the reasons for that unsuccessful operation. That is, it was only focused on the deep state, focused on those campaigns, focused on making himself known to the Kenyan people. That Junet Mohammed never at one particular time thought about the strategies laid to earn Raila Amolo Odinga's votes, so that he was only over-reliant on the deep states apparatus. So I got four things that I think Raila Amolo Odinga must address if he is to succeed as the Kenya's fifth president should the Supreme Court decide to nullify the elections. But before we get to the four things that I think are very crucial for Raila Amolo Odinga going forward, please take a moment and subscribe to our channel. Perhaps if you hadn't subscribed, you can give us a thumbs up, you can hit the notification bell, so that every time we upload any meaningful video, you will always become the first person to get that notification. So the first thing, yeah, but that's according to what most Azimio brigades think. I'm talking about supporters. This is what most supporters think. Replace Junet Mohammed with Ledama Olekina. Take a flashback at the Bomas of Kenya. What transpired? Olekina stood his ground and he was almost hit by a chair. You saw what happened and the whole nation saw it. Where was Junet Mohammed? Or where is Junet Mohammed to this state? I think Junet Mohammed could be feeling that he let down Raila Amolo Odinga so much to an extent that he cannot come to the public domain. You saw what happened after the Orengo, after Julia Soweto, after Philip Murgor, and a host of all those other lawyers that represented Raila Amolo Odinga, Matakarua, and other interested parties in that Supreme Court battle. Junet Mohammed again was not seen. He has been behind the scenes. I don't know what he does, but he's not been in public domain until it is not been publicly since that sudden shock. So Junet Mohammed, Secretary General of Azimio One Kenya Alliance, of course, that's a very crucial role. You're the Secretary General. That means you're in charge of so much. So on to our second part that I think Raila Amolo Odinga should address. Raila Amolo Odinga should address the issue of investing in party agents. Because how then would we motivate the party agents? Because one of the reasons that people have been saying about Mount Kenya vote is that the party agents were not motivated. And then because of that reason, one could easily buy them. So they were bought. That's what people say. They were underpaid. That some people say that there were no availability of meals. Motivation was on a low level. So perhaps that's the reason why the Kenya Kwanza decided, now let's take this opportunity and buy these agents. So they are working for Azimio, but again we have them for Kenya Kwanza. So that could have been one of the scenarios that led to those vote suppressions for Raila Amolo Odinga, vote inflations for what people think is for Ruto, especially in the Kiambu County polling centers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is number 2. So when you go to the third one, that is avoid relying on pollsters. Pollsters, ladies and gentlemen, we always saw pollsters putting Raila Amolo Odinga ahead. So maybe Raila Amolo Odinga was now in his comfort zone. Perhaps that's why even Junet Mohammed was in his comfort zone, knowing that now the ratings have given us an advantage. We are at almost 50%. We only need to get Ojakoya's votes into our basket and become the president of the Republic of Kenya. So the over-reliance on the pollsters was a major factor that played in this unsuccessful election towards Raila Amolo Odinga voter basket. Raila Amolo Odinga shouldn't have relied on the pollsters. Remember, the Kenya Kwanza were fighting these pollsters. They had their own plan. The strategies that Kenya Kwanza put in place was one that you can easily admire. So that is on to our third point, And again, on to that same point of avoiding relying on pollsters, that was actually meant so that you can break even in opponent stronghold. Don't rely on pollsters. So on to our fourth point, stop depending on deep state. It worked in 2007. Okay, you remember when Raila Amolo Odinga beat Kibaki in that disputed presidential election that led to the Nusumkati government. Raila Amolo Odinga beat Kibaki. That's something that is available in the public domain, and almost everybody knows in Kenya that Raila won that election. But it was stolen from him. But because it was stolen from him, the deep state played a very crucial role in making sure that Raila did not ascend to power and Kibaki returned power. And you saw the inauguration. It was done at almost as a very, very disadvantage. It was done as a very suspicious way that I think that's the reason why going forward the country had to enact a law that bars that kind of inauguration, and that when you are given that certificate, you don't become the president automatically, you just become president-elect. Then there is room for court battle. So that room for court battle is utilized until exhausted. That is when the judges confirm, now you become the president, and the inauguration process can start. So we're saying that over-reliance on the deep state might not work. So I think Raila Amolo Odinga's campaign team, okay, we've seen some people like Donald Kipkorir, they used to have been accusing the chief agent for Azimio One Kenya Alliance. But if I look at the trends, the last time when the chief agent was involved, if I look at the Bomas of Kenya, how the chief agent tried tooth and nail to expose everything that was happening, to an extent that he even said whatever is happening at Bomas of Kenya is a crime scene. I think he's not someone you can blame. Okay, fine. The strategical part of this election process was not done accordingly. But I think the chief agent should be retained. The only person I'm concerned about is Junet Mohammed's inability to notice that strategies needed to be put in place. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, power is taken, not given. That is what Raila Amolo Odinga needs to know. And that should form our fifth point. Power is taken and not given. I think that is what Kenya Kwanza exercise. They've been exercising the fact that power is not given, it is taken. So perhaps whatever they did to win the election, they did it successfully, according to their plan. We are not saying that they did it legally. I'm just saying they did it successfully according to their plan. That was their strategy. Azimio One Kenya Alliance need to also think about their own strategy, because they should know that power is taken and not given. In 2007, that was the case. Power was taken by Kibaki. It was not given to Raila Amolo Odinga, because despite the fact that he got the majority of votes, but the mere fact that power is taken and not given played a big role to his downfall. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to delve further into this. I was just trying to share some 5 points. I said 4, but along the way I realized that there is need to produce a 5th point. So I can confidently say those are my 5th points. Things that I think Raila Amolo Odinga should adhere to. Should nullification be done, and should the Supreme Court order for a fresh election, and should the Supreme Court decide to disband the team of Chebukati. If Chebukati is found culpable, then definitely strict measures will be imposed on him. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to urge you, if you've not subscribed, please to take a moment and subscribe to our channel, because that is the only way you support us. When you give us a thumbs up, you increase our experience on the platform. Also, when you hit the notification bell, then YouTube gets to send you that notification every time we upload a video. So I'd like to say, stay safe, stay blessed. Until we meet again, bye.